Can you please be on mute? We'll join it now. 30 more seconds. And everyone able to see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think we are good to go. So, so let us start. I think I have started the recording with all your permission as well. Yeah. So the topic for today's discussion is RPA for finance. So it's basically like we are going to discuss about the course which I created for all the finance people, so that this will be a add-on to the understanding of automation that is happening in your companies. So this is the core objective, and in this journey, I'll just take you through what is happening in the world and what are the technologies that are competing with us. What are the technologies that have the capability to replace us is something that we are going to see. Again, this meeting will be for close to 45 minutes. If we are running out of the time and if we want to discuss furthermore, there is one more subsequent meeting with the same Zoom ID, which we can extend to maybe 15 to 20 minutes so that we can make this meeting a complete 1 hour. Yeah. So with that, I'll be starting my session. So before starting into the session, let me ask you some quick questions. Okay. Things anyone waiting in the yeah. So these are the three questions that I would get answers from, right? So you can type your answers as yes or no in the chat sessions. The first question goes this way: how many of you have heard about this particular technology called RPA? And when I say have you heard means are you able to visualize what exactly is RPA? This is the question. So you can type yes or no or Y or N in the chat. Yeah. Yes, Rani. Dhanraj, yes. Mehul, no. Abhishek, yes. Amisha, yes. Yeah, fine. Ansita, Shreya, Dilip, no. Shekhar, yes. Fine, guys. I mean, when we hear about some technology, unless we visualize, we'll not be able to get a big picture, right? So in this session, I'll make you to understand what exactly is RPA, and also I'll make you to visualize what exactly is called RPA via a 3-minute demo, right? So that we'll be looking in the later part. The next question comes: how many of you are aware that CA or finance guys are being picked for these profiles, for these RPA profiles? So how many of you have heard maybe you getting an offer or your friend getting an offer in fintech profiles or RPA domains? Again, the question, yes or no? Yeah. Dilip, yes. Shreya, yes. Two heard from you. Thank you, Rani. Dhanraj, no. Anshita, yes. Fine. Correct. They're picked in Big Fours majorly. Heard from Shayantini, good Mehul. Right. So we are all aware that some job profiles are opened up for finance guys. Again, this is a core software domain or it's a kind of finance plus technology domain. But yes, we do have certain opportunities. What are those opportunities or something that we'll be discussing in the last slide of this video. Sorry, webinar. Yes. Yeah, Dhanraj. Yeah, I mean, majorly for engineers, but yes, we'll also will be having some profiles being finance guys that we'll be discussing in the end slide. Yeah. The last thing and the most important question: how many of you think that we'll be replaced by these bots in future? Yes or no? Maybe you can just think of your own profile that you're currently doing, and you can say by relating to that. Just think of what you are doing in your organizations and just imagine whether that can be automated, whether you will be replaced. Amisha, yes. Mehul, answer is yes. Means, yeah, perfect. Rani is on right track. If we don't know the technology, that is one of the point. Perfect, Abhishek. You've given a perfect timeline as well. I would reduce 1 year, maybe 2024. Yashin, yes. Dilip, yes. Anshita, yes. Perfect. I mean, I'll give you the answer for this as well with a live, I mean, with a live use case or with a live statistics, right? So with these three questions, I would like to go deep into the topic, and let's go for the next slide. Yeah. So to start with the session, I want to take a metaphor, or I want to take a practical example that has happened somewhere in US, United States. And the bridge name is called Honduras Bridge. Honduras is the name of the city, and the bridge is constructed across Chotega River, which is in US. So what has happened is, like, you can see the first picture, which is this one, where you can see a river flowing under the bridge, and the bridge is constructed in a damn good way, and it is doing its job perfectly. So that's the first picture. So what has happened to the second picture? And before that, is these two pictures same? Can I get some answers? Yes or no? Sir, both are different. And this is one place, this is the other place. Any answers? Just you can type both are same, which means yes, not same, no. Yeah, I just want to make it more interactive so that I'm asking. Looks different. Kaushal, no. Shekhar, no. Rani, no. I think same. Yes, Abhishek. I'll give you a clarity in next few seconds. Mehul, no. Saiteja, yes, fine. So let me give a clarity or tell you the fact that these both are same. But what exactly has happened? How the first picture uh, was the bridge that is doing its work perfectly versus the second which has become useless. So what has happened? So nothing has happened except the river which is flowing under the bridge has changed its direction. It is nowhere flowing under the bridge. Rather, it has taken a separate path and flowing a steep curve next to that bridge, thus making the bridge useless. So why we are telling this? In the example that I'm going to talk now, we are the bridge, and the river that is flowing beneath the bridge is the process that is what we are currently doing in our organizations. Now, let me add more clarity here. So, what has happened is that the river has moved, and as a result of river being moved, the bridge became useless, right? Now, to connect that example to our routine works, we are being hired in the companies to do a certain processes. That can be audit, that can be taxation, that can be whatever, compliances, finance, or whatever, right? So this bridge is the knowledge through which we are able to execute that tasks. And due to that, we are kept in our companies and we are being paid so and so salaries, right? But what is happening is in the industry, the way these works are getting done, the way these finance works are getting done, maybe I'll take the example of MIS preparations, maybe I'll take the example of financial statements preparation, maybe I can go with audit example as well. So how these processes are being performed is changed, my friends. It's completely changed. Organizations are not asking us as a chartered accountants or as a finance people to sit and do the works. They have already automated these activities, means they have already changed the way these operations are getting carried. Only thing we need to stay updated, or else we will just keep it aside, and without we touching our systems, these processes will work and they will get the works done without us. This is what something called uh, the job cuts that we'll be expecting in the upcoming future. And we can also hear that automation is going to replace humans. These are the news articles that will be, yeah, just a minute, yeah, that we are all hearing as a result of the underlying process being changed, right? So this is the way this particular metaphor will convey to us that we need to stay updated so as to ensure that we are not getting replaced in our companies. So I'd like to conclude with a saying that we need to build up ourselves not to lose, but to last ever, right? And now to answer to these questions, how many of you think you will be replaced by bots in future? It's not only the bots, even a simple process flow change will replace us if we are not updated. I would like to recall the example of, the answer of Rani, where she said that, yes, sir, if you don't do the technology, we'll get replaced. That is absolutely valid. And apart from these automation, bots, artificial intelligence, machine learning, we will be easily replaced if we don't update ourselves, if we don't know what exactly a technology capability is, or if a particular way of process change is also there. Maybe today I'm doing with papers, the audit, tomorrow that is digitized in my company. If I don't adapt to that particular process, I'm gone. Leave about RPA, bots, automation, artificial intelligence and all. If I don't update, I'll be gone, right? But this particular technology has the highest potential to replace us. I'll show you with some facts in the upcoming slides. Yeah. So we have just seen we are getting yeah, we are getting replaced if we don't update. That is all fine. Sir, but what to update? With what things we need to update is the question. So here comes the modern ABCDs of digital world, where A is for automation, that is something which we are discussing now, which is robotic process automation. The next thing is blockchain, which few of you might be knowing, and we do carry certain sessions on that. And the third thing is cryptocurrencies, which is the hot topic in the current industries. That's so and so Bitcoin, Ethereum, or so and so private currencies. Right? This is the third technology that is going to lead the way. And the fourth one and the most dynamic one is the data analytics, or I would say to connect with the blockchain and cryptos, it is DeFi. Right? So these are the four key trending, or I can say the strategic technologies which we need to have a clear understanding to compete with the other peers, right? So first, let us start our journey with automation, because why I'm stressing more on automation is it is something which is already in place. I'll show you the statistics where you can see more than 50% of the companies are,
फोन करवाना है, फोन करें
yeah, please be on mute, guys. Yeah, where you can see more than 50% of the companies are already involved in getting the things automated. I'll just show you in the upcoming slides, right? So these are the top trending technologies that every CA or every finance guys should have a clear visualization. I will not use the term understanding. I would say it's the thing we need to visualize when we hear these terms, right? So these are the four trending technologies, and we go to the next slide. Yeah. And also adding to the previous slide where we have spoken four trending technologies, I would also like to talk a bit on Industry 4.0. So what exactly is this? We have heard that from last 2000s, say 2002 or 2010, from that period, we are completely shifted to Industry 4.0. I would like to tell the history of this. Industry 1 is where we used to use mechanized tools to get the industry things done. Industry 2.0 to 1.0 is where we use mechanized tools. 2.0 is where we used autonomous manufacturing, where we design some process flows so that the products will be designed in batches. So that is where industry 2.0. Industry 3.0 is where we started using internet, right? And now we are currently in industry 4.0, which is nothing but, you can see the definition here, intelligent networking of machines and processes with the help of information and communication technology. So this is a area, this is the time where two machines will be able to speak. With their artificial intelligence, they're able to speak, they're able to do the things and all. Let me give you a very practical example, which is called Alexa or Google Home Mini. I think I would seek participants to mute themselves. Yeah, just a minute, I'll mute them. Yeah, right. So we are in such a area that we do have all the availability of all these resources. Just to name a few, we have cloud computing, mobile technologies where you can do all the things from your mobile phone, machine to machine communication, which is called M2M, 3D printing, which is already done by Larsen and Toubro. And don't worry if you are not getting these technologies, we will be discussing all these in our courses. And we do have advanced robotics, big data, Internet of Things, RFID scanning technologies, and cognitive computing. And remember this term, cognitive computing. This is the most dangerous technology which will give competition to us, because it is through this concept of cognitive automation, robots or the soft robots are able to do majority of our works. How they are doing is something which we will be seeing in the subsequent slides, right? So just remember the ABCD of digital world and the era that we are currently in, right? So with that, I'll just take you through a few very few statistics, or I would say very few reports. I can see close to three reports I'm going to discuss you. Nothing more statistics I'm giving. So just to open the first link, which says that 50% of the Indian firms are ready to deploy automation solutions in by 2024, which is given by IDC. Let us see what is inside. Yeah, for the benefit of time, I have already opened that links. So here we can see that 50% of the Indian firms are ready to deploy intelligent automation solutions by 24. This is something which is conducted by Automation Anywhere, which is a RPA service provider. We'll be discussing that as well. So this particular company has conducted a survey. I think the period is in February 24th only. This is the very recent report which says that 57% of the companies are investing in RPA and intelligent automations. So what exactly is this for us? Which means that these companies have already invested some lakhs or crores of rupees into automation solutions to benefit in a long run. But why they are doing this? They are doing this for the numerous benefits and the capabilities that bots are able to do. So what exactly are the benefits? We have a separate slide there will be seen. And now we'll compare this particular 57% with other technologies. So we have certain percentage as well. 21% of the companies are investing in big data or big data analytics, right? 7% of them are investing in machine learning and 50% in other emerging technologies. Maybe this can be called as blockchain or making payments via cryptocurrencies, or those technologies comes into this 15%. So you can imagine the potential that each company or every company is investing currently. 57% of their visionary investments are being routed to RPA implementations. So that is something, and I have taken very recent report which is given by IDC. IDC refers to International Data Corporations, which is a global uh, advisories company which is providing information on automation or machine learning concepts, and all, right? So this is something, and here we can see this is all due to pandemic. So here we can see a comment from Automation Anywhere Vice President, where he says that the pandemic is a reminder of critical importance of being prepared for any future calamity or uncertainty. Even I remember the memes which says that what is the reason for your journey towards automation? Option A, it's your vision. Option B, it is something to gain competitive advantage. Option C, it is COVID. The answer is COVID here. So COVID has proven us that a lot of things can be automated, a lot of things can be done in a much better way instead of being done by the humans by going to offices and all. So this is the starting point which made the companies to depend or to deploy automation in many of the activities. Right. So let's go to the second report, which is done by, I can say, World Economic Forum, which is COVID response measures. So we all know that there is a COVID hit by to many companies, and what is the actions that they are going to take. I'm just go to page number 14, where we can see what are the key areas that they want to spend on. I think that will give you a clear picture. Yeah, here it is. So you can see the heading, what are the business adaptation measures in response to COVID? This is the question put to many companies. And we can see the percentage of companies that are choosing this alternative, which is accelerating the digitalization of work process, which means that implementing RPA robots in their work areas. So you can see out of say 1,000 companies, 840 companies, which is 84% of the companies are sticking to this particular uh, plan or the strategy. And next comes work from home. Next comes again acceleration of automation of tasks. Again, this is something related to RPA. That the third thing is like upskilling the resources to accommodate the digitalization. So you can see more than 50% of the companies are opting these particular strategies to come out of the COVID impact. So this is something which is given by World Economic Forum. Why I'm showing this is to just project the importance of RPA across the world, right? Let me talk about the third thing, which is the most scary thing. I would share the link separately, but this is a YouTube video basically. I will share the link separately, but I will talk now in the next 2 minutes what exactly the video is telling us. So are you all with me? I just expect yes or no, so that I can be ensure that you people are with me.
Yes, Prem. Yes, yes, yeah.
Thank you. So the next 2 minutes are very important, where we'll be talking about some of the technologies that are happening around the world. I mean, that will be definitely a scary to listen. Yeah. So first thing is Neuralink. This is something Elon Musk is already working, where a chip, a nano chip, or a microchip will be inserted into the human brain. Through that chip, we'll be able to communicate with the brain movements. So this is something which is actively worked upon by Elon Musk. So if this particular concept is functioning, no, I mean, is successful, no, then we will be able to talk to the machines by using, I can say, a Wi-Fi. Maybe we'll be able to communicate our ideas, our thinking to the robot in front of us without we typing any commands, without we doing anything. Just imagine how this process works. A chip will be implanted into your brain, and through that chip, you will be able to communicate with the machines. So just imagine if this is coming to light. Yeah. The next technology which I want to speak is biohacking. Like, say I'm not that much intelligent, I'm not having that much six pack or whatever, but I want to have that. I can do this by biohacking. Biohacking is a concept where we can change the capabilities of a human by coding the required softwares, and thus he or she can get the characteristics that she wants. This is something we have seen in the robot movie, where Vasika will be able to install the feelings to the robot, and before that in one song we'll be able to see a sports, for sports there will be one hard disk, for music there will be one hard disk. All this data will be implanted into the robot, so that robot will be having complete knowledge on all aspects, all every entire Wikipedia will be there in the robot memory. So similar concept is called biohacking. This is also being researched by n number of companies around the world. I'm not sure what are the companies, but I'll definitely share the video where you can have a look. And the next thing is biomicrochip. This also the same like Neuralink, where a chip will be inserted into the humans that will track all the uh, big data patterns that are happening into our body, and that particular technology will be able to forecast that at this particular time you are going to have a pain in this area. At this point of time, you are going to have a heart attack, just like Apple Watch is doing currently. And it's much more advanced, the biomicrochip concept. So this is the third thing. And the fourth thing is nanobots. I'll also tell you why I'm speaking all this. I'll just talk about that once I complete the two remaining concepts, which is nanobots, where micro robots will be loaded into our body, and these bots will move around our body and kills the cancer cells. Just imagine the concept. To kill the cancer cells, they will uh, put inside our body a micro robots that will walk around our body and do all this fighting and kills the cancer cells. That is called nanobots. And the last thing is the designer babies. Again, this is also one scary thing to understand or to imagine. If you want to have a boy or child or a baby who looks exactly the same way, you can do that using this concept, which is called designer babies. And why I spoke all these things is that just to tell you the impact of technology that we are going to have in future. This is the level of technology that we will be seeing. Maybe if it favors us, maybe our generation will see these type of technologies coming into place, right? So I would conclude this particular slide by saying that the next generation or the next competition that we as a humans will be having is with a bot which is having multi superpowers. It's not like we'll be competing for a job with another human being. Maybe if we both go for an interview, we both will fight there, and we both will try to prove that I'm the best, I possess more and more knowledge. But in future, it's not going to be that way. That way, if you want to get a job as a finance manager or as a content writer or as a so-and-so advisory consultant, you need to compete with a bot, which is which is I would say 10 times or 100 times faster than. Just imagine the future. It's going to be transformed in such a way that you need to compete with a bot, not with a human anymore. God forbid. I mean, I would pray this should not happen in our generations, but definitely there is a huge possibility that maybe in the next 20 years or maybe 25 years, we'll be able to see these particular things in live. Yeah. So thing is like we need to be prepared for uncertain future. And just imagine these particular advancements are happening in so and so fields that can be health, medical, or whatever, whatever. But the same level of intensity this particular technology has when coming to finance and accounting activities. And if you talk about finance and accounting activities, I would say all these are rule based. Nothing else. I mean, we are not using our brain and judging something. We are just following what is the act says, what is the standard says, what is the audit process says, or what is a particular section in so and so IFRS or Companies Act says. Only that we are following, man. We are not creating something and telling our ideas so that company is following that. No, all the companies have expert systems to do that. All the companies have the rich database of all sections or the recent amendments in GST or whatever, whatever. And all these companies are already using the so-called ERPs, the so-called taxation tools, or so-called income tax calculation tools of so-and-so versions, so-and-so features. Everything is automated. Hardly what we are doing, I'll tell you, we are just interacting the external data to our ERP systems. I'll make it very simple. Say, for example, P2P process. Okay, we need to pay to some particular vendor, and we, being chartered accountant, we are in accounts department, right? Uh, I'll take this example. So, what we are doing, we are just receiving the invoice for the items that we have received. We are just reconciling that with purchase order, with GRN, with the invoice that he has sent. If these three quantities are matching, which is called three-way matching, if these all quantities are matching, what we are doing, we are just approving his payment, so that that will go to the finance manager flow. Once he approves that, that will go to a bank's flow, and there will be getting paid to the vendor. Maybe we'll take a lag of some 30 to 45 days depending on the credit period, but on finder will definitely give a command to the bank to pay that. So this is what something we are doing. All these are if then conditions. If this, approve this. If this don't approve this, reject this. If this, just send a reminder to the vendor saying that this is so and so quantity is not matching. All these are rule based, all these are routine things that we are doing, right? So these are the jobs, these are the activities which are the best fit for robotic process automation. These are the best fit jobs for bots, so that they will be able to do our tasks, thus by replacing us at any cost. So, but we are already hearing that some companies are actively hiring new people. Yes, yes, guys, that also happens. Only thing, we should be in a position to match that particular job profile. I'll tell you with image. So here, what we can see is that, just what is it? Yeah. So here, what we can see is human versus robots. That's the first image where you can see both hands are fighting, one robotic hand and human hand. Second thing is human with robots, where in this scenario they are friends. So first scenario I tell you, where you are already working on a process that is something that has the capability to get it done by robots. That's the first task, and in that area you will not be in a position to compete with the robot, because that is having n number of times better productivity, n number of times better execution capability, n number of better thinking capability. So that you will be replaced in that scenarios. But imagine the second scenario where you possess all this knowledge, you know how the robot works, and you know how to configure or how to use that robot in your process, so that your work will be made easy. So if you know all these skills to make the robot work with you, you are a friend to that, and you will never be replaced. So what are the options or the job opportunities that are evolving in this RPA domain are for you guys, provided you are updated. So just imagine whether you want to be in the first scenario or you want to be in the second scenario. But sir, how to get into the second scenario? What are the skills that I want to learn to be fitting into the new job profiles that are upcoming? So that is something that we are going to discuss in my course. Yeah. So with that, I'll go to the next slide.